Konami Studios.
Harley Quinn Season 2. It came, it went. I have a lot of feelings on this season, and we are going to get into them right now. Spoiler alert, there might be some spoilers coming up, because I always go into a video thinking everybody's already seen it, and they just want to hear a discussion about it. Where to begin on this season? I have a lot of weird thoughts. Let's start with this. I don't think it's as good as Season 1. I think this season alone is just kind of all over the place in terms of tone. The direction was kind of just off from the first season. I don't know why that was. Didn't really work for me all that much at certain times. We start off the first half of the season and it's kind of like, hey, Harley Quinn's going to take over Gotham City. It's kind of no man's land. All of our villains have certain bases and distinct areas of the city. Middle of the season, it's kind of more of like Harley and Ivy's story, and then come the latter half, it's kind of like Dark Side, Dr. Psycho, lesbian love, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with all those things, but it just was like, this is where we're going. This is like where we're going, all these places, and it didn't like feel that natural at times. It just kind of felt like it was good. I will say this, the best part of this season, as it has been for every other season, it's the Ivy and Harley relationship. And this season it's very played up because we see a couple of things right off the bat. First off, we see that Ivy and Kite Man are going to get married. He has proposed. She says yes, they are going to get married. That is the crux for their arc this season. But then we find out kind of later on that Harley actually really loves Ivy, because Ivy is the one person who's always cared for her and treated her like a person and never as like a sidekick. And I think that's a really great dynamic. I love their relationship. I don't want anyone to get me wrong on that. I love their relationship. And I think it's the pinnacle of what this season was. And it makes me think, why couldn't we just do this from the beginning of the season? Did we really need to do all like we're going to go take down the Penguin and the Mr. Freeze and all that stuff? Do we really need that? I don't know. It just felt like kind of off in terms of everything else happening this season. But their relationship, it feels real and feels very naturalistic. And I don't want to discredit it just by calling it another lesbian love story. I just want to say it feels very nice. And I just like the progression to get where we got with their conclusion. The way certain characters need to feel certain things and accept certain things to get where they go. I really like that because we see them, when they're in Bane's prison and they escape, there's that adrenaline, and then it's kind of like, did we make a mistake? And at the bachelorette party, it's kind of like, why are we still doing this? Obviously, there's something happening here. And Harley is the one who's like, yeah, I love you, okay? Like, this is what we're doing. I love you. You are important to me, Ivy. I think that's a really good story, just where they end up at the end of this season. Because I don't know if they've confirmed a Season 3 at this point. If this is where you want to end the show, I think it's fine. I think it's a great finale for this show. Because then if you look at it from episode 1 to the end of this episode, which I think is 26 episodes, it's a great love story between those two characters. And I think it works really well in how it gets there. Not a lot I hate. Here's some of the things I do hate. Man, what is the Joker stuff? Very weird. I didn't really care for it. I get it. He's the normal human guy, and he's gonna, be, look at me. I'm the nice, jolly man. I'm nothing like the Joker. I ain't. And that was okay. I don't know. Just some of the Justice League stuff seemed a little weird. There's just certain things about this season. I get what they're going for. Didn't really care for it that much. The King Shark getting married thing, I know you needed to fill out time, and that's why you did it, so I like that. It was fine, but just some of the stuff, I know there was that episode dedicated directly to Batman, but I don't think it was needed, especially since Batman wasn't in the finale, so I don't know why it was there. It just didn't feel like a good idea for the season, and I'll talk about this too. The introduction of Batgirl in this season, it was like, why? It's a Harley Quinn show. Do we really need to focus on that? I mean, that being said, there's some great stuff with Commissioner Gordon in this show. I don't know why they nailed that character so well, but it's amazing what they did with Commissioner Gordon in this show. Everything with his character. It's so cool and so bizarre, and just the way he acts and pretends who he is, it's great and just awkward, and everything about it's so funny. He's kind of starting like a one-man army. I'm going to take them all down. I'm the city that is needed. I'm the hero in this city, bitches. Let's take them down. Let's go crazy. What a weird guy. They perfect. They did him perfectly, just for what this show needed to be. I think it was perfect. Alfred was kind of weird too, honestly. Like, I did not like this Alfred. He just seemed way too condescending, way too snarky. I found him very annoying. I did not enjoy him at all. But, there are some just, like, random things I did like. I think Riddler getting really buff from running on a treadmill, that's really funny. That was really good stuff. I like that Bane is just kind of like, I want a normal chair, but you give me the folded one. I think that stuff's fucking hilarious. Really good stuff. Like, there's just a lot about it, but just the flow, it's just like, we're here, we're in all these places. Breaks the fourth wall at times. We have Frank talking directly to us on a couch. And then I love the joke with the fanboys, like, this show sucks. Harley Quinn's too overpowered. Release the Snyder Cut. Here's... Did they put that in, not realizing the Snyder Cut was coming? Because it's just like toxic masculinity at its worst in terms of online stuff, but then it's actually happening. I'm just like, oh man, that's a great joke, but then Warner Bros. Completely backs away from the joke and makes it I just think it's hilarious. And I don't know, this whole season, it was a lot going on, and that's not a bad thing. I think if we focused on one of the two things, you focus more on the love story with Ivy, why'd I call him Ivy, with Harley and Ivy, and or just the No Man's Land stuff where Harley's trying to take over the city from the bad guys. I think it works better that way, because without it, then it just kind of jumps around really fast. Like, Gotham's no longer seen as a state or a city within the United States. It's just really weird stuff, and the president's talking to Commissioner Gordon. I don't know. It just didn't land the way I wanted it to, and I wish it was a little better, if I'm being honest. I really liked that first season. But I will say, I think the finale does stick the landing. I think it takes a lot of characters in certain places they needed to go. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, why did we introduce, Alfred and Batman and Batgirl if they're not going to be in the finale? Why did we have to waste time on those characters? Couldn't we have just kind of cut down this season to maybe be 10 episodes? Could have been just as fine. I don't know. Catwoman was in this too, and we kind of mentioned her in the first season, but here she's interesting, and it's not my favorite interpretation of Catwoman, and I'm not saying that because she's African American. I'm just saying that because she's just a little too snarky. Everyone's just a little too snarky when they're supposed to be like the cool character. I don't know. It didn't work for me. Alfred Molina was Mr. Freeze. That's freaking awesome. I really like that. Was it Ironside becomes Darkseid again? Michael Ironside, was he Darkseid again? I think he was. That was cool. Mr. Freeze, Mr. Miracle just straight up dies, so that's just great. I don't get this show. Like, the continuity is all over the place, right? I don't know why it was going to certain places. Like, why do we do certain things with the Joker? It's going to be with a lady now, or whatever that is. I don't know. There's just so much weird stuff. But you know what? The animation was solid. The scripts were great. It didn't flow perfectly the way I wish it did. Not like that first season. And we just kind of let certain things go down without actually building anything else up. So I don't know. This season, while it was all over the place, I didn't hate it completely. So I guess that's a positive to say about it. But what did you guys think of Harley Quinn Season 2? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What were your highs? What were your lows? I'm excited to see what you guys say. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. And of course, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, and all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.